I don't know about you, but I am tired of the whole Patsy game. We've been watching it for our entire lifetimes, and it has been going on for at least 100 years before then. So we have a guy who supposedly was arrested for pipe bombs. The FBI was following this guy as early as 2 or 3 days ago. He has a long conviction record going back decades. He supposedly entertained the idea of doing pipe bombs in 2002. He is sane? Well, who knows? Did he do it? Who knows? So we've got guys, and you know, this is part of the problem with this whole thing, is that when you look at it and put it all together, does it look like a pattern we've already seen? So we have John Wilkes Booth that supposedly shot Lincoln, apparently did. This small circle of folks that did it, and decades later we find out that one of Lincoln's cabinet members is involved in it, and the Rothschilds. Why were the Rothschilds involved? Well, because Lincoln was building or making greenbacks, and that didn't satisfy the central bankers at all. Then you have Charles Guiteau, who supposedly shot Garfield, and he's a crazy guy, right? And to the point where he was dancing at his execution. He was hung. People, they cut up the rope that was used, sold it as mementos. He supposedly shot Garfield up close, and that one probably is a crazy guy that they set up. Then you've got Leon Kozlogs, who shot McKinley, who is an anarchist, who was also not sorry about it, was happy to have done it. Happens to have shot McKinley at a time when things could be transferred over to Teddy Roosevelt and make everything look good. Was Teddy a good guy or not? You know, I used to think he was. I'm not so sure anymore. But both of these guys, both of these alleged assassins, are dispensed with in a matter of days. So Kozlos was executed by electrocution 45 days after the death of McKinley. Nice clean break. We got him cared for. Then you've got Oswald, who is obviously a patsy, and we couldn't wait for him to be tried. We couldn't wait for him to be brought in and go through the process, because he was yelling at the newspaper people that he was a patsy right up front. He obviously hadn't read all the history, or he'd have waited till a propitious moment to talk about being a patsy, although he was probably going to be killed in a matter of days anyway. And help. Then you've got Sirhan, who doesn't remember shooting him, and rumors are that Bobby Kennedy had numerous bullet holes in him. Then you've got James Earl Ray, that supposedly shot Martin Luther King, and the King family doesn't even believe that he did it. And then you have John Hinckley, whose family are good friends of George H.W. Bush, who happened to have been the vice president at the time. And then Hinckley, who needed psychological help anyway, was set up to be the guy who was going to shoot and kill Reagan, which would have made H.W. Bush president most of 8 years sooner. Wouldn't that have been a good deal? So one of the things I'm going to add here, and this is somebody who has been one of my subscribers, sent me pictures of a pair of vans. And this is supposedly Sayoc, the Patsy, supposedly had a late 90s, early 2000s Dodge van, white van, right? All covered with stickers. Except the problem is, that there are two different sets of rear window stickers that don't match. So the question then is, was he driving one and there was a spare? Are we photo-opping these? If you take a look at the bunch where the cars supposedly ran into the folks, oh God, I'm mixing this up, a year or two ago, where there was the march, and there was this guy that raced in and supposedly rammed people. Well, there were two different cars involved. One had stripes on it, one didn't. Are we looking at the same kind of problem here? It's where we've got a white van, but do we have multiple white vans? Do we have something that's been worked over? Are we photoshopping stuff to make it look right? But in any case, does Sayoc not look like a patsy? And so this whole process, I'm getting tired of it, frankly, and I'm getting tired of the fact that the FBI is so good at rounding these guys up in a day or two. Will this guy be dispensed with in a few days? Is he going to hang himself? Is somebody going to step forward and shoot him? Is he going to be put in a psychiatric ward and then chemicaled up enough so that he can't remember whether he did these things or not? Does he look like somebody who would put together pipe bombs? You know, who knows? But are we going to see the record of him having looked up all of this stuff on the internet? Yeah, and would we believe it if we saw it? Because in 15 minutes and 5 minutes, they can download, the bad guys can download onto my computer all kinds of things that make it look like for weeks or months I've been plotting and planning to do something. So I don't trust any of this. And when we have 150 years of lying, 160 years of lying to us, how is it that we are supposed to believe in any of it? They call us conspiracy theorists, right? And we wear tinfoil hats. But it's not a theory once it's all put together. Once everybody understands that it really happened and it happened the way it was supposed to. I won't even get into 9/11, which gets crazy. The more one looks at it, the crazier it gets. So what I would say then is it's just another lie. And it's just another lie piled upon a lie. And we should pay no attention to it all. And the only question then really is, why did the Democrats have the inside track to do this crazy stuff? Why is the FBI covering for them? Why are we being told that this is real stuff when it's not? And listen, isn't this one more example of interfering with an election, with putting fake crap in during 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks before an election? How is this supposed to change anything? What it really ought to do is, for those of us who believe in the truth and a real world and not being lied to, it ought to make us angrier than ever. I'm not saying this guy didn't send these bombs, but if he did, he was MK Ultra'd and played with, because it doesn't make any sense, or at least that's my belief, and he probably didn't do it. Although there's going to be stuff they're going to find when they go into his apartment or where his mother was staying. They're going to find all this stuff, and we're going to find these half remains, and we're going to find the addresses, and we're going to find the next 3 that he was planning on sending stuff to. That's just the way it's supposed to work, right? Well, I don't believe it. I'm tired of it. I really, truly am tired of it. And I hope that you are as well. Thanks so much for watching.